welcome to our listeners and viewers. In this episode, we will be interviewing Jared Zeha, Executive Director and CEO of Cal Poly Foundation, and Aaron Nielsen, Director of Hospitality Services. So stay tuned as we learn about Cal Poly Foundation, cool campus spots to visit, career opportunities, and their new name. Yes, that's right. Hear it first. Cal Poly Foundation is changing their public name. So welcome to the CPP CommunityCast. My name is Andy Handy.
And my name is Miguel Urrutia. And for those you know, as we're getting closer to spring, there used to be a fun activity that students used to do in campus. It was called Finding Dwayne the Rock, which the Dwayne the Rock is a rock that is colored both green and half yellow with goofy eyes. It was a pretty fun activity for students to do back and I think that that game ended before the pandemic. So I'm hoping, hopefully in the future that program, not program, but like, someone does a new Dwayne the Rock version 3 or version 2. But yeah, that's something that I just wanted to share that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew about that.
No, this is the first time I've heard about it. So does this have anything to do with like Dwayne the Rock Johnson or totally separate things?
Probably separate things like that.
I'm like, it's funny. It's green and yellow with googly eyes. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So basically students would go and try to find this rock on campus.
Pretty much. And if they can find it, they would post it online with their selfie with the rock. And then the students would go and hide it again and have someone else find the rock.
That is so fun. I hope that it could still be found, because then this becomes my new adventure on campus.
Oh, definitely. And now for the question of the day, it's like, if you could have a dinner with any famous person, dead or alive, who would you choose?
I'd like to say this one's hard for me. There's a lot of people who I would like to have dinner with, but because of my fondness, and of course, just growing up, I watched a lot of I Love Lucy. And so I became really passionate about her life and just how she grew up as a child and reading her books and her making her way for female actresses during a time where there was just a lot of changes taking place. And so I'd love the opportunity to just have, you just say dinner, have dinner?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe share a glass of wine together and just hear about her life. And we watch those movies or clips on, how we perceived their life to be, but I would love to hear it directly from her. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that's really exciting.
How about you?
For me, I think it would be definitely Keanu Reeves. I just kind of really like his, his personality and like all the things he does, like as well, like some of the interviews I heard, I kind of really want to follow up some things with him. And yeah, I think it'll be really exciting to, talk more with Keanu. And yeah.
That's so funny. So I just watched the Matrix movies for the first time in 2021. So I'm now a huge Keanu fan. I've always liked him, but as I watched more with the movies, then of course I live in San Dimas. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was filmed here. So I would love to be invited to your dinner. That would be great.
Oh, definitely.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for a great question of the day. Let's go ahead and move on to the next segment of our podcast. Hey, and now we have moved on to our interview portion where I know that you all have been waiting. And so I would love to introduce you to Jared Zeha, Executive Director and CEO of Cal Poly Foundation, and Aaron Nielsen, Director of Hospitality Services. How are you both doing today?
Fabulous. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thanks so much for making time out of your schedule. We have all been so busy. And so it's such a great opportunity for us to hear from you and just learn more about Cal Poly Foundation, about each of you and what you do on campus. And so I want to open it up here because one of the questions that we get, especially from, let's say, our new students or our new staff that come in, what is Cal Poly Foundation? And so, Jared, I'm wondering if you could just share with us a little bit about what that means and perhaps what is included in Cal Poly Foundation.
Sure. The foundation is the enterprise and administrative support arm of the university. We're a nonprofit, 501c3 self-supporting organization. And really our goal is to contribute high quality services that really advance the experience at Cal Poly Pomona for students, faculty, staff, alumni, and community. So some of our units are dining, which is both Centerpoint, the residential piece, and all of our retail dining you'll see throughout campus. We have roughly 20 some locations. You can see us at the bookstore, Bronco Bookstore, University Village Housing, Kellogg West Hotel and Conference Center, including Kellogg House, where quite a few people get married. We also do grants and sponsor program support, the post-award side for the university. We have real estate, so Innovation Village, where we have a number of tenants, Southern California Edison, Red Cross, and we have CTTI, which is the Center for Technology and Innovation. There we have a number of tenants that provide internships and jobs for students and hire a lot of our alum. We have BrewWorks right there as well. We do the filming at Campus South, so a lot of Hollywood productions happen at Campus South, and we oversee that as well. And I'm sure I'm forgetting a few things, but just a great group of people I'm so fortunate to be a part of.
Absolutely, that's fantastic, and a huge list that I'd love to see if Aaron had anything he wanted to add.
Oh, he covered that very well. I'm glad you took that one, Jared. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and I love Aaron's background promoting
Innovation
BrewWorks, right?
That's absolutely correct. The very first educational brew pub run by students on any campus when we opened in 2016.
Well, and I have to give a shout out because I have a very weird diet, gluten-free, dairy-free. It's crazy. Innovation BrewWorks is the only place where I can go and get the best pizza ever. So thank you, Aaron.
Cauliflower crust, yeah.
Exactly. We'll have to have one just on Innovation BrewWorks later on. And so thank you. I do appreciate that, Jared. And I know we're going to kind of break it down a little bit too and talk about some specifics, but we'd love to learn a little bit about you both individually. And so, Aaron, if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about how you got into your role, and if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about what it is that you do.
That's great. Thank you. I started off in food service in high school in the late 70s, early 80s, if I'm dating myself. And I spent about 10 years in the 80s working in different family restaurants, Caro's and all that sort of stuff. And my friend and I, in fact, there's the Bowl and Mouth Saloon that you might be familiar with in UC Riverside. Some of the listeners may remember that back in the day. I was the kitchen manager there. And my cohort in crime is what I called him, Jim, looked at me one night when we were having a couple beers at the Bowl and Mouth, and he said, "Let's get out of this life and let's go to culinary school." And I said, "Well, okay." So in the early 90s, I went to culinary school in Portland, Oregon. It's a Le Cordon Bleu is what became after I graduated. It was Western Culinary Institute at the time. And while I went to school 8 hours a day working in kitchens, I was also working in restaurants, Jake's Famous Crawfish, Atwater's up in Portland. And I realized that there was more to life than restaurants. And so I went to our career services at Western Culinary Institute, and they suggested I look at institutional food service. And I said, "Well, what the heck is that?" So I did an internship at a hospital. And I said, "Oh yeah, they make food." So I did my unpaid internship at the time, working at a hospital in Portland, Oregon. And I realized this is a little different. This is a little different. And when I graduated, I ended up landing a job for a food service contractor, ARA Services at the time, at University of Laverne, just up the hill. And I ended up working all over the place: University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Chapman University, you name a university within reaching distance. I worked my way through there as a chef or production manager, as director or general manager. 10 years ago, I guess it's 11 now, an opportunity came up here at Cal Poly Pomona with the foundation as associate director of dining services. So I applied and I ended up getting the job, and it has been the most fantastic experience of my life. It's the most rewarding job that I've ever had. Just our mission, everything that we do just fits by my life right now. So very happy.
Well, I love that. Thanks so much for sharing. And it seemed like over at what's it called? The
Bull and Mouth Saloon.
Bowl and Mouth. It sounded like you had a very well thought out plan to go to culinary school. Sure, let's go. But I also like the fact that it's a really interesting pathway to get where you are. I think it's a really great story for people who may have a redirection. So you're still in the culinary world. It just might be a different aspect of it, and being able to see as you work your way through is really cool. So thanks for sharing. And Jared, I also have a very similar question for you, because we would like to hear your history and kind of what you've gone through as well. And I know it's a little bit different. So I love that we can share both stories, because I think there are staff, student, and faculty who'll be able to relate. And so if you wouldn't mind sharing as well.
Absolutely. So I'm a local boy. Like Aaron on the career side, my work experience started in dining. I spent 5 years at Raging Waters, at the world's greatest water adventure. And in the food side, started as a fry cook and was able to work my way up and ultimately run that department. And that was, I love that job. Woke up looking forward to it. Had all my friends there. It was fantastic. From there, I actually pivoted to banking. I was with Wells Fargo for about 3 years. Had my first real big career position with Robinsons May. You may remember that name. Was the largest department store company in Southern California. No longer exists. Macy's gobbled it up. But I was there for a number of years and really enjoyed what I did, but wasn't as maybe fulfilled. Definitely not as fulfilled as I am now. And my wife works at Mount Sac, and she really said, "Hey, you should check out higher ed." And Macy's was buying us up at the time, and I looked at a job opened up for a bookstore manager at Santa Ana College, community college, and I went for it. And I had a boss that gave me the shot, and never looked back. So I was a bookstore manager there. Went to Chaffey College as an auxiliary director for 7 years, and at that time, I loved Chaffey, but really wanted to get to the university level. The spirit and energy that exists on a university campus is just a whole other level. And I think Aaron can attest. I think I might have known him at that point, and I think I shared, like, one of these days I got to get to Cal State, and I want to be at Pomona, and was able to get a job at Long Beach at the director level, and spent 5 years there. And when this job opened up and they were recruiting for it, was so fortunate and blessed to be given this opportunity. And I've been with the foundation now for 2 years. I enjoy business. I enjoy really looking for innovative solutions. I had that in the private sector, but I have that now. But then when we do really well, it has like a benefit for students. It has a benefit for other people. There's nothing wrong with stockholders, but it's a benefit for the people that we serve every day, and I love it. I'm never going back and doing exactly what I want to do. Other than being a travel show host, this is my dream job. So.
And Jared, you neglected to mention the timing of your starting with the foundation was a week before COVID, or as COVID hit, I believe.
Right as COVID hit, absolutely. My first day of official work was the first day that everybody was remote. So that was an interesting time to start.
I can only imagine, Jared. I think I had said I had started a week prior to you, and transitioning to virtual and remote work, which for everyone listening here, I'm sure kind of threw them for a loop. And we've all had to learn different ways to work and communicate with each other, which in some ways has actually been really positive in building those relationships. And I have a question for you, Jared, and I'm kind of putting you on the spot here. So your pathway was a little bit different, right? And so we had Raging Waters, which all of my friends are probably cheering because their first job was all at Raging Waters. Mine was not. Mine was in the school cafeteria, but I had free donuts, so that's okay.
There you go.
And then we had Wells Fargo, and then we had Robinsons May. And so let's say, for example, you have a new student, or maybe somebody who's just starting off in their career who may not necessarily know exactly what they want to do just yet. Do you have any advice for them?
My advice, and it's the same thing I've told my kids, is no matter what you're doing, just do the best you can. it's going to pay off at the end. I treated my job at Raging Waters like I was going to be there for my entire career. I treated Wells Fargo the same way, Robinson's May the same way. It wasn't just a job. I really invested myself in it. And I encourage students, whatever they're doing, to really seek to learn, seek to grow. And then a door will open, and the door may not be the door in front of you, maybe the door, 5 houses down, but that's okay, and as you go through. And like I said, I enjoyed each job along the way, and I found things that really energized me and people that I connected with. But as I kept going, things got progressively better to this job that I love now. So it's really, keep your mind open, keep your eyes open, and just work hard and put yourself into it, and it'll come back. It'll, pay it forward, and it'll come right back to you.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. And I hope that your stories will help to inspire and motivate and encourage those who might be on a similar path as you. So thank you. And Aaron, I wanted to take it back over to you because we've had some really fun experiences together. Aaron took us on a tour of the Kellogg House. And like I said, I'm at Innovation Brewworks at least twice a month. And so I'm wondering, Aaron, if you could just share a little bit of history about some of the cool areas at Cal Poly, but also if you had to recommend some places for our staff and students to just check out. I mean, we just talked about this, but it's been 2 years that we haven't necessarily had an opportunity to really visit as much as we've wanted. And so I know that's kind of a stacked question, but if you could share a little bit of, a little bit about some of the history and then maybe some cool places that we can check out.
Well, I see, we'll start off with the grapevines that are behind you, and I assume that's off of University Drive somewhere, but there's several vines on campus. So as you see those, think about partnership. And what that is those vines are a partnership with the College of Ag and with Collins College of Hospitality Management. And College of Ag kind of grows them, and Collins College of Hospitality Management will coordinate the picking, and then we send them off campus down to Temecula. They ferment them and bottle them, and then send it back with a Cal Poly Pomona label. So you can buy that wine at Innovation Brewworks, at Farm Store, Collins College of Hospitality. So when you see those vines, that's the story behind those. It's pretty cool. I also encourage anybody to venture off the beaten path. There are so many cool places. The things that are obvious are the duck pond that are in front of the old building by the residence halls. The bricks and the grays is what a lot of people call them. But that's a natural pond, and it's fed by a natural stream that comes down from the top of the hill. That's pretty cool. And I always, of course, visit Kellogg House, and to understand the sort of the history, and stand up there and look down on the campus and say, well, that was his stables. That was the rose garden that he planted. That was all these things are pretty cool to see. I also invite you, so this is a little selfish, venture off the beaten path to visit Vista Market and our Fit Bites Cafe. If you're walking from the parking lot off of Temple Avenue and you walk past the brick, turn right and go check out that grocery store. We accept EBT cards there. We accept Bronco Bucks and cash and credit cards, but it's really designed to be a supermarket for our resident students, as well as a little restaurant attached to it.
I might be, if I look amazed right now, Aaron, it's because I am still learning about campus. And so the little grocery store that you're referring to, that's really interesting. So you said it's just off of Temple, and what is it called?
Well, if you park in the parking lot by iPoly University, and normally people will walk around the brick to get to campus. If you were to go turn right and cut across Kellogg Gym, you'll see Vista Market right there next to the football field. Vista Market and our Fit Bites. So it's a pretty cool location.
Oh, Miguel, we'll have to take a trip to go there, because that's so fun. Now, so if, let's say, somebody who maybe isn't a student or staff or faculty, and they live in the Pomona community, are they able to come and enjoy any of these fun places?
Oh, absolutely. Every one of our operations is open to the public. So we consider ourselves a public facing organization. And I think some are more public facing than others, like Innovation Brewworks is kind of out there, right there off of Temple. So we get a lot of community that go into that space, as well as Farm Store. Since it's right there off a main thoroughfare, it has high visibility to the community.
And I will add,
Oh,
if I may add, and anybody that has kids or anybody that just wants to get out, when Agriscapes right by the farm store does the Pumpkin Fest, that's a great time to come out. And so I mean, with my friends in the area, any of them that have little ones, I mean, go through the corn maze, pick out your pumpkin, play some of the games, eat some of the food. That's always a fun thing to do for the public.
Well, and I must admit, this is my first year at the pumpkin patch, and I had the best time. We went over to the farm store, bought lots of really cool items that they have something for everyone. And so if you're restricted to your dietary needs, there is something for everybody. And then even the wine that Aaron was just talking about is delicious. And it's so fun to be a part of the whole process because everybody makes you feel so welcome. All right. Well, Aaron, we'll go back into kind of the history of some of it too. I know you had shared with me, we learned a lot about the Kellogg House and the history, and it is really fun. For years, when I'd be driving on the 10, I said, oh, Kellogg Hill is backed up. I had no idea why people called it Kellogg Hill. No clue at all. And so, yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit of the history if you wouldn't mind sharing.
Well, William Keith Kellogg built his house there in the early 20s, and sort of as his summer residence. And the old stables is what's called, or Horse Hill on campus, that is currently, I think, Student Affairs is housed out of there. Some offices are in that space. That was his stables for his Arabian horses. And he was a big Arabian horse fan. And his stable was very well known throughout the nation. He was, I could go into some trivia about his number 7s a little bit, but he was big on number 7. He was Seventh-day Adventist, and he, if you look at the shape of his house, it's in the shape of a 7. If you look around inside of his house, there's a lot of things that allude to 7. There's 7 beams, there's 7, a lot of different 7 things. He was also short in stature. So an interesting thing to do if you ever get a chance to look around the Kellogg House, all the doorknobs there are lower than any other doorknob that you would expect to see. Really interesting to see that. But again, the rose garden was his, and so we keep that up as part of history. The campus keeps that up. They do a wonderful job at that. There's a number of, in fact, so here's a not known widely little factoid. Foundation is in building 55, and this building 55 was actually the birthing stables for the main stable. So if a mare was about to give birth, they'd bring it down to building 55, and the horses were born there. The newer stables that are on campus just off of Kellogg Drive, they still do this. So whenever a horse is born, there's a foal pole, FOAL pole, and there'll be a flag that goes up on it every day that a colt is born on campus, and it'll be either pink or it'll be blue. So that's the foal pole. So if you ever drive past there and you see a flag up there, a new horse has come into the community.
Well, that's fun. I just learned about that today as well. So thanks so much for sharing. I love all the little things that we can look for as we work our way around campus. And if you ever want to feel tall, if you're vertically challenged like myself, I would recommend that you go to the Kellogg House. I felt very tall that day. So thank you, Aaron. So Jared, I'd love to hear a little bit from you too. So I know as we talked, when we hear the term executive director and CEO, we think, they get to make all the decisions. It's great. They have all of this ability to be able to make decisions on particular changes. But what you were sharing is that you actually have a board of members that you report to as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I have a board of directors. I think I have more bosses than anybody on campus. I don't, Liz from ASI, I'm not sure exactly how many she has, but I have 24. So the president is the chair, and Vice President Trinidad is the vice chair, but there's faculty, students, community members, staff, all on, and other administrators all on my board of directors. Now, practically speaking, administratively, I'm working most closely in reporting to the VP of Admin Affairs and dotted line to the president. But all of the 24, they have an equal voice in the direction of the foundation. So we meet with them quarterly, and we not only quarterly, the full board, there's committees that are part of the board. So we have a program committee and a personnel committee, finance and investment, audit, and all covering different aspects of the organization, because we are a semi-autonomous unit. We're our own corporation and have to follow the corporate governing structure. But it is a phenomenal board. I've dealt with boards at my past couple campuses and had great individual board members, but this group of 24 is the best I've ever had. Just phenomenal. And they bring resources forward, ideas forward. They are advocates for us here on campus and in the community, and I couldn't ask for more.
Well, and I love each time I speak with you and Aaron. Not only do I learn something new, but your passion for our students comes out every single time. And you've both shared your feelings and thoughts about being able to be a resource and a guide for our students. And so I'd love for you, Jared, to just share with us about your student support. So how do we continue to support our students?
Absolutely. And really, that when I talked earlier about what keeps me here and why I hope to work the rest of my career here is that connection with students. That it really is hugely rewarding for me. And we do at the foundation, a lot of our student support comes in the form of our student workers. We have a student workforce that gets up as high as 800 or so, 900 when we're at full capacity. And these are individuals that we don't just bring in to work only entry-level positions. Those that really excel, we want to promote into lead positions, even into student supervisor positions, so that they're gaining really a broader view of what we do, and really a behind the curtains understanding of the business that goes into our various components. We have students in IT and HR and all of the service units that I mentioned before that are really the heart and soul of what we do. And then when we're doing well, when these students are helping us be successful, we're generating funds that are supporting programs on campus, supporting scholarships and other student support. It really is a great ecosystem that keeps moving forward. But there's when I think back to my fondest memories in employment, almost every one of them is ties to a student, and seeing that difference. I mean, sometimes we have them come in, and Aaron, I'm sure, sees this in dining. The first day, it's deer in the headlights. But then you might see them a year later, and they're just killing it. They're just, taking care of multiple things, making customers happy, giving us ideas that are going to help us for years in the future. It's just a fantastic feeling. And then best is when I get to meet their parents and brag about how great the student was when they, supporting us. It's a great thing.
Oh, that's perfect. And I think in a conversation that we had with Aaron, he had talked about the money that comes in, whether it's through the Kellogg House or through innovation and all of the different areas that we talked about. That money goes back into the students. Is that correct?
Yeah, it all stays here. So, no one's getting a fat bonus because of how well the operations are going. I mean, it's going back into support. It's going to development of different areas on campus, expansion of facilities, again, scholarships and programmatic support and event support, all of those things. We do give money back to the university every year. It's not only part of our budget, but it's part of what we want to do and what we want to grow and really build a legacy for the institution long term. And something that long before my time with the foundation, they've done a phenomenal job of doing.
Thank you. And Aaron, I'd love for you to kind of continue this conversation as well, because if students are interested in getting involved or being a student worker at one of our specific locations, would you be able to share with them how they might be able to do that?
Well, obviously, the obvious answer is to apply through our Foundation website, and there's a jobs board there. But I would also encourage you to just talk with the supervisors and managers. What we're interested in is finding the things that students are interested in. For what I mean by that is, for example, before COVID, and we're beginning to develop these programs again, people tend to think hospitality is food service, so it's all culinary. And we touch so many other aspects of all of the different colleges here on campus. We have College of Business, HR students. We had HR interns who were helping us onboard and create all these training plans, and they're passing it off to the last student, and the student would dust it off and make it better and then hand it off to the next student. That was really a exciting thing. IT students are working with us on all the technology through our menu boards and our nutrition, and the College of Ag students working with our nutritionist. She has a group currently of I believe 5 students who they're making sure that those things are accurate, making sure that the allergens are posted, and meeting with students and developing menu plans for them, and learning from actually doing the work. When you say learn by doing, I mean, that's really doing that work that's so important to supporting our students in our campus. But to provide those opportunities for them, yes, we do have culinary positions. Yes, we do have event positions where students can learn how to set up an event and lead an event, and over time they're going to run the events. I'm really excited about getting that really going again.
Well, and I love too when we talk to somebody and say, where did you get started? And they say, well, I was a student here. And how fun is that, right? And Miguel's smiling because Miguel was a student here as well, which we're so excited to have him because he's amazing. And so Aaron, I want to ask you too, what's your favorite thing about what you do?
My favorite thing about what I do is no day is the same. So every day is different. I love the innovation that we're bringing to campus, and we're allowed to try new things. We're seeing there's over 90 other what we call auxiliaries in the 23 campuses, and most of those campuses look to us for, what are you guys doing? How did you do that? A good example of our innovation that we brought to the campus this semester is, it's called MashGin. We're trying to come up with a better name for it, MASHGIN. But what it is, it's almost an Amazon Go experience. It's one step below, where you walk in and you set your product down, you tap your card, and you walk out. It's a little different than, it's not scanning a barcode. This thing actually knows what you have in your hands, which is quite amazing. We're exploring wider partnerships with Amazon, the full Amazon market, where we're able to get a food truck and deploy it. We have a wonderful IT team that is just like, we're hand in hand and going, hey, try this out. Hey, try this out. Want to try that? But that just keeps me energized of being able to try those things in this environment, and seeing them actually work, and serving our students and fulfilling our mission. It's totally rewarding.
Let me challenge Aaron a little bit. He said step below. I say step above, because Amazon doesn't take Bronco bucks and meal points. We do.
Yet they're gonna.
Yet.
They want to do business with the
Good. Not yet. Yes. Yeah.
Well, I love how much innovation is happening all of the time. We could have a conversation with you this week, and then next week there might be some new ideas or something that we're working on to be able to just stay current and like you said, above the rest. And so that's fantastic. And that brings me to another question for Jared, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to share. So we've heard there's going to be some really exciting news that the Cal Poly Foundation might get a new look in regards to their name. Would you be able to share a little bit?
Sure. The board did approve, not all that long ago, I think a few months ago, the direction of us really coming out publicly at doing business as, or DBA name of Cal Poly Pomona Enterprises. So that is hasn't been launched or really announced at this point. We have a lot of work to do as far as, revising our mission, vision, values, our branding, logos, taglines, things like that. So there's a lot of work still in front of us. But really the idea is, a foundation by definition is an organization that takes gifts and then uses them for a benevolent purpose. We don't take gifts at this juncture. That's the philanthropic foundation. But we, through our administrative support, our enterprise services, we generate funds that we use for a benevolent person. So that's why the little change here. So it should be exciting. We have, I won't show you the drafts of logos that we have now. That's still got to stay under wraps, but the name has been officially approved and we will be moving in that.
All right. And are we able to give a little hint of what that name might be?
Well, yeah, Cal Poly Pomona Enterprises.
Cal Poly Pomona Enterprises. Okay, so I don't know if you'll hear it first, but you might hear it first here at the CPP CommunityCast. So we're excited. Yeah. I was, after our first conversation, we did mention it to like one or two people, and it was the first time they heard it. They got really excited. So I thought, hey, if we can let our listeners know, I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And so I know that you both do so much, and not just for our students, but you do so much for our staff and for our faculty. And so we really could have this interview go on for much, much longer. And so I really want to open it up to you to see if there's anything else that you want to make sure that we share with our viewers and listeners. And so, Aaron, if you have anything that you want to make sure that we let them know.
Well, thank you, Andy. Just want to thank you for your support over the last couple of years. And I've never felt so part of something coming out of the pandemic with the campus. I do want to let you know we are continuing to expand our hours of service and our operations. We're looking at opening several more locations throughout the rest of the semester, with the goal of come fall, we're full speed ahead. I encourage you, if anybody needs a job, come and apply at the foundation website. We certainly could use the help. That is really the only thing that's holding us back from just really opening up a lot more locations and a lot more hours currently. But yeah, please apply.
You hear him, folks. Now, Aaron, would we be okay if we put a link to those available job opportunities into our comments of this podcast?
Oh, I'd love that. I will
Sounds
connect you
great.
directly. Thank you.
Yeah, and I have to just let everyone know, if you are thinking about it, I would say go for it. Cal Poly Pomona is such a wonderful place to work, and I love that we have the opportunity to work with each other. We work in completely opposite departments, but everyone is so welcoming and committed to providing a great experience to everyone, to all of the Cal Poly Pomona community. So I would really encourage you to do so. And Jared, was there anything else that you wanted to make sure that we let our listeners know?
Yeah, first of all, I'm sure I misspoke. I said CTTI. It's the Center for Training, Technology, and Incubation. I think I said innovation earlier, so I got to correct that because my team would give me a hard time over that. But I did want to say we are always looking to get better. We value feedback. So if you have it, we'd like to hear it. I mean, we're available. You can email me, you can give me a call. Aaron, the same, any member of the foundation organization. We want to hear what you're seeing and what would make the campus experience for a staff member, for a faculty member, for a student, alum better. And so as we continue to grow and really subscribe to the continuous improvement philosophy, we hearing back from you enables us to do better, and we want to do better. So I welcome any feedback people have.
Oh, that's great. Thanks so much, Jared. And I appreciate your time and answering all of the questions for all of us to just learn more about what foundation means and how we can continue to have fun times and go to Kellogg House and Innovation Brewworks and do all of these things while supporting Cal Poly Pomona. So it's a win-win situation is what I'm hearing. And so
Absolutely.
thank you so much. And we're not done yet. We're going to take off to the next section of our podcast. And so I'll have Miguel share with you a little bit about our tip, trick, or hack and lightning round. So you want to take it, Miguel?
Yeah, sounds good. And yeah, for the tip, trick, or hack, it could be anything from an application, a tip like on how to, keep your bananas fresh, any of that sort. So, Aaron?
Thank you. I like to shop and I don't like to pay full price. So I have two apps that I almost live on. One is called Flip, F-L-I-P-P. If you're familiar with it, it's every ad that comes out every Sunday in your newspaper, but it's in the app. So if you want to find T-bone steak on sale, it shows everywhere that has a T-bone steak, and you can find those. The other is called Slick Deals, and you can subscribe and I'm on it every night, looking for the best deal, and I get computers or just anything that you're looking for a discount. It'll alert you and say, hey, the thing you're looking for is on for half price. So those two apps I highly recommend.
And he's you see the video, her mind was blown.
I'm learning how to adult and save money. I'm not great at it, but I'm learning. So I love this.
Yeah, never pay full price. Never.
I love it.
Thank you for that. Yeah, and I think I've Slick Deals definitely. It's I think I've heard it once from a colleague, but yeah, I'll definitely check that out too for tech deals. Thank you. And now for the lightning round, we'll be asking a few questions. They're gonna be fast. And Jared, are you ready?
Yeah, as ready as I'm gonna be, so go for it.
All right. We'll start for the first question. What TV show are you currently watching?
I'm actually rewatching Friends with my kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're almost done. I think we're on maybe 4 more episodes to go, but almost done.
Very cool. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
To control people's minds, because at least that way they wouldn't know I'm doing something.
Oh, okay. Dogs or cats?
I'll go dogs. I have 2 dogs right now, so I'll go dogs. Although if you catch me in a different year, I might say cats.
Okay. How about a favorite band or artist?
Right now, I will say Bastille. I don't think they're huge right now, but I've followed them for many years. I'm actually going to see them in concert in a couple months.
Oh, wow.
And
That's exciting.
I'm really excited about that.
Do you prefer texting or calling?
I prefer calling. If it's someone I want to talk to.
How about FaceTime? No.
Call works for me. I'm old school, I guess.
Favorite dish?
Ooh. I will say barbecued shrimp from Mr. B's in New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
Very specific.
Yeah, I haven't tried that, but that sounds really good. Is your phone normally fully charged or almost out of battery?
Normally fully charged. It's somewhere between like 40% and fully charged. So I'm rarely down at the bottom.
And last question is one word that starts with the letter T.
I was gonna say tomato, but that's not exciting. Travel. I'll say that. I love to travel. I didn't go anywhere as a kid. We didn't have any money, so we did not move. But as an adult, I found a real passion for travel. So I'll go T for travel.
Nice. And if you could choose to go right now to a place, where would you go?
Spain. I've never been, but probably Madrid. I've been reading a lot about it and the excursions to like Granada and Seville. Oh, it just sounds amazing. So I would hit Spain, get some tapas.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, those are my lightning round questions. Thank you for answering.
Absolutely.
Yes,
fun.
thank you, Aaron, Jared, and Miguel. That was fantastic. And Aaron, if you have any travel websites for us where we can get discounts, please feel free to share it with us as well.
Well, of course I do, but I'd have to pull it up. There's some really good airline things.
Oh, that's okay. We'll make sure to get that information. People are definitely looking because so many people are actually really excited about traveling. But I thank you all again for your time. To our viewers and our listeners, thanks again for continuing to listen to our podcast. We appreciate you taking the time to continue to support us and Cal Poly Pomona. And in the words of John Maxwell, if we're growing, we're always going to be out of our comfort zone. Thanks so much for joining us and have a great day.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks, Miguel.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.